Hello, everybody. First, I'd like to say I know audio and video quality is going to be bad. I'm actually recording this on a cell phone. It's pretty decent for a cell phone and pretty shitty for YouTube, so I apologize. Too poor to afford any nice digital camcorder. I had one and it got stolen, and it was a gift. I could never afford something like that on my own. I'm pretty poor. I live in Michigan, the economy sucks here, and blah, blah, blah. I'm unemployed. The moment I got laid off my last job. Okay, enough of that. What I wanted to talk to you about is indoctrination of children. Now, this is a subject that hits pretty close to home, because I was brought up from the time I was about 3 or 4 years old to basically I was raised in the church. I was a very sheltered child. My mom used to be in a biker gang, and she used to be a wild child, I guess you would say. She found God, and shortly before I was born, and changed her ways. Really, she was just as vile of a person. It just manifested itself differently. But she found God, and I was brought up in the church. I was raised in the church. About 2 or 3 times a week I would go to church, and she'd tell everyone I was being raised to be a pastor. I was going to be the best pastor one day. I was going to change lives with the message of God, and blah, blah, blah. And I was such a golden child for religion. And obviously, you might know the result of that. I'm an agnostic atheist now. I know there's no proof for God, and there's no proof against God, technically, but I feel it's highly unlikely that there is one. And, you know, that's a subject for a whole nother video. But the indoctrination I went through as a child really kind of scarred my mind in a way. Up until the time I was about 13 years old, I went to church, like I said, 2 or 3 times a week, and I hated it. I hated going. My mom forced me. By the way, my dad died when I was 2, so it was just me and my mom growing up. But I hated it. I never wanted to go. My mother would go so far as to rip the sheets off me on Sunday morning and pour ice water all over me just to get me up. I hated it that bad. But I would go anyway. She forced me to, obviously. And I hated it. The only thing I liked was youth group, because I got to get out and see some people that were my age. I could get out and socialize a little bit. You know, youth group, it wasn't just a long fire and brimstone sermon. It was kids my age. It was fun. So I liked that. That was about it. My mom is a little bit nutty when it comes to religion. She's a Southern Baptist. And there's no snake handling or speaking in tongues, convulsions, any of that, but it's pretty close. Other than that, it's pretty much what you would think. You see films like Jesus Camp, and it's not quite that extent, but it's pretty close. And one day my mother heard that Magic the Gathering cards were demonic. She heard it on the local Christian radio station. And at the time, I was playing a lot of Magic the Gathering. I think I was in 5th grade. And I was a nerd, so I played a lot of Magic. And I had about 1,000 cards. And she told me to gather them all up, and I did. She put them in a big tote bag, took them out into the driveway, and wheeled out the grill and torched them one by one, singing Hallelujah while she burned the cards up. So that was pretty disturbing. She thought they were bringing demonic forces into the house. We fought a lot, my mother and I, and she thought that was the reason for it. It's because of this demonic presence from the Magic cards. And it's pretty nutty. She also had the pastor and his wife that time come over and lay hands on me. And if you don't know what laying hands is, it's where they come over and everyone puts their hands on you and they pray over you to let the evil forces out of your body. And that was pretty fucking weird. I didn't know what was going on at that time. So I guess this is just, it scarred me. I still have something, I'm comforted in atheism now. I'm comfortable with atheism. I came to this conclusion of my own regard, and It's the one that makes most sense to me for many, many, many reasons. I mean, I could go on all day. But there's still always going to be a part of my brain that thinks I'm going to burn in hell for all eternity. It's scary shit. And that's because, well, the brainwashing I went through over the years, it's all fear tactics and brainwashing. And when I see films like Jesus Camp, things of that nature, it just disturbs me to my core, because those kids remind me so much of what I was brought up in. And there's, like I said, there's still that part of me that just, I don't think it'll ever leave to the day I die, that fears eternal punishment. And it's just because I was raised in that. I mean, when you're a child, you're so susceptible to things like that, and you believe whatever people tell you. And I mean, it was like I said, a 3-time-a-week thing, and it was constant threats of hell and everything like that. It's just scary shit. So, to Christian parents out there, do not indoctrinate your children. To any religious parents, do not indoctrinate your children for any religion. Let them grow up and then realize what they want. It's a decision they can only come to when they're critical thinkers and they're old enough to come to that decision. You raise them like that. You don't give them any choice. You just indoctrinate them, and that's not the right way to have people follow God or Allah or anything like that. So, yeah, thanks.